Hey, Canucks fans, is it time to give the ball to Spencer Martin, at least for the next little while? I'm Canuck Clay, and this is my Canucks take all in one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Thursday, November the 10th. If you're new, here's what you should do. Hit the subscribe button now for daily Canucks insight that's positive, timely, and trustworthy. Thanks to everyone who joined me last night, whether it was Parker and me for Canucks After Dark or my own show, Clay's Canucks Commentary Live. Kind of dissected the game pretty much as thoroughly as we could between those two shows. So I'm not going to get into every goal, every nuance. I will say this, that Tanner Pearson, rough goal for Tanner Pearson. He had -2, 4 penalty minutes, lost a key face-off, and in only 6 minutes of play last night. And he got injured. So there's like 4 or 5 bad things that happened to him. I don't hate Tanner Pearson. I don't dislike Tanner Pearson, but let's call a spade a spade. He had a really rough game last night, taking that penalty just 43 seconds in the offensive zone. His 8th minor of the season, his 5th, 5 of those have been hooking penalties. So that tells you he's simply not moving his feet. He's not working hard enough, not skating well enough. And then the Montreal Canadiens scored 12 seconds later, and the Canucks basically, I don't want to say dead out of the water, but one of the worst starts you can ask for, even though they just had a similar start against Ottawa the night before. So then Tanner Pearson takes another penalty later. He also loses the draw that leads directly to the second Montreal goal. It didn't even show much of an effort, actually. I don't even know if he actually tried to swipe the puck back. And then later also gets injured when he was actually the aggressor on a check. So overall, a really, really tough night for Tanner Pearson. Not the reason the Canucks lost. He was one of the reasons why the Canucks lost. And now he's being placed on the injured reserve. So that means he's not eligible to play for 7 days. There's no minimum game requirement, whatever. So his contract still counts against the salary cap because it's not LTIR. It's simply regular injured reserve. And then as a consequence, the Canucks have called up Sheldon Dries up. Now, if you want to put Miller back on the wing, then you got to play Dries and Oman in the middle. If you want to play Miller in the middle, then Dries might not necessarily draw in. So the Canucks have no extra forwards now that Besser's back, now that Pearson is hurt, aside from Sheldon Dries. So it'll be interesting to see who they indeed play with who on Saturday against Toronto. What I want to talk about, you guys, is the goaltending situation with the Vancouver Canucks. Thatcher Demko, Spencer Martin. I'm not going to go through all the goals from last night, but another 5-goal outing for the Vancouver Canucks. And Demko is simply not being Thatcher Demko this season. Let's compare and contrast the two stats, the two goalies. And I kind of think I know which way they're going to go with the goaltenders this weekend. Well, let's talk about that now really quickly before we get in the stats. Because it's another back-to-back, odds are that you're going to play Martin in one of the games and Demko in the other. Doesn't matter who plays in which game. You have Toronto on Saturday, then 24 hours later, you're in Boston. Both teams doing really well. Boston is probably second in the league behind Vegas, and Toronto has turned the game around recently. Toronto's Hockey Night in Canada, rabid fan base. Boston, not Hockey Night in Canada, but still a rabid fan base. So both games are going to be very, very tough. Do you put anything into the fact that Martin's from Ontario and Demko, although from San Diego, played at Boston College. So there's these geographical considerations that may completely play or not play into the situation. I go, and let's say Boston on paper seems to be the tougher team, but Toronto will be the more scrutinized game. So does that mean you want to go your starter, Demko? You want to go the guy who's playing better, Martin? If you're looking to play both, I simply go Martin in Toronto, and I go Demko in Boston, because it means one less day for Martin between starts. And if you're doing more of a rotation or alternating schedule as opposed to 2 or 3 or 4 in a row for Demko before Martin played 2 games ago, Demko played last night. So why not keep at least the rotation for the next set of back-to-backs? And again, that means Martin playing the first one and then Demko playing the second one. When you look at the stats, you guys, oh, by the way, let me know in the comment section, what would you do? And I don't think you can be as flippant and saying, oh, you got to play Martin in both. I don't know if that's realistic. Even though it's a very short travel time and distance between Toronto and Boston, it still is travel and it still is back-to-back with that travel. So let me know how you would run the goaltenders this weekend. Demko, Martin, Toronto Saturday, Boston Sunday, And let me know the reason why. I would love to know. For me, it's simply Martin. It doesn't matter who they're playing, where they're playing. I would simply go with the flow of the rotation so far, or the alternation, and therefore it is Martin's turn. Now, when you look at the stats, Martin is 3-0-1. Dating back to last season, he has not lost a game in regulation in 10 games. Last year is 3-0-3. This year he's 3-0-1. Combine that, that's 6-0-4. That means he's gotten 16 out of a possible 20 points. Canucks have gotten 16 out of possible 20 points when Martin plays. That's an 800 points percentage, which is amazing. So he's 3-0-1. Demko is 1-7-2. Because you add those together, you get to 4-7-3. So whereas Martin has gotten 7 out of 8 points, Demko has gotten 4 out of a possible 20 points. Yeah. Let that sink in. Martin has gotten 7 points out of 4 games. Demko has gotten 4 points out of 10 games. Because the Canucks have played 14 games. And yeah, and you don't look past the point totals. Look at the stats themselves. Martin has a save percentage of 900. Not great, but not brutal, but not great. You want to be at a 910 or 915. Demko is at 874. 874. You might say, well, what's the difference? That's only 26 percentage points or whatever. Yeah, but that means for every 100 goals, 100 shots against, then technically Martin or Demko's letting in one more goal than Martin. And that 100 shots can come over 2 or 3 games. So that's a lot of goals when you add it up extrapolate it over a season. So Martin's at 900, Demko's at 874. And then you look at the goals against. I think Martin's is like 3.45 and Demko is at 4. 4 goals a game because Demko has played in 10 games and he's allowed 40 goals. So the math does check out. So the numbers bear out that Martin is playing better. The point totals bear that Martin is playing better. And the body language, the confidence, not only of the goaltender, Martin just seems more confident, more square, more efficient than Demko. And you guys know how much I love Thatcher Demko. I touted that they made the right decision when they kept Demko and didn't keep Markstrom. Isn't it crazy, by the way, how Demko, Markstrom, and Campbell, the 3 goalies of the 3 Western Canadian teams, are all struggling right now? It's kind of fascinating that way. And then I think we saw some frustration from Demko last night when he basically went all WWE on Brendan Gallagher. Yes, Gallagher should not have poked at Demko, that's for sure. But there's already OEL there, but Demko decided to get in on the fray as well. So that shows you a little bit that he's frustrated and that he's not all there. His mental game isn't all there. Also, another sign that he was frustrated and that his mental game isn't all there is that he did not do media yesterday. He was requested. That's usually how it works. The media requests who they want to talk to. Oftentimes, it's the captain, Horvat, and then another player, usually someone who does really well, someone like a Martin, or we've heard from PD, we've heard from JT, we've heard from Quinn over the past little bit. So apparently the media requested Thatcher Demko, and he was not made available, and that's probably because it was Demko's choice not to talk. And then some people are saying that's fine. He's not in. What's he going to say anyways? That he's got to be better. He's got to make a save. That he's letting his teammates down. So there's that one school of thought that's saying, why trot Demko out there when he's not in the best mental place right now and he's not playing well? And then there's another school of thought that says you're a paid professional. You should be held accountable, just like Jim Rutherford has been saying that players need to be held accountable, and doing media is part of the job. Kind of suck it up. And we do want to hear from you, good, bad, or ugly. So I'd be interested, Canucks fans, of where you fall on that, in that argument as well. Bottom line, I'm not going to sit here and say that the Canucks have a goalie controversy, because I know you just don't go by salary, but Demko is making $5 million a season, whereas Spencer Martin is making $763,000 a season. So there's a big difference there. As I see a guy almost back into me, I'm not sure what he's doing. So there's that. And again, you don't do it just based on salary, but Demko needs to start playing like a starter. And you have Spencer Martin, who's making, backup money, outplaying Demko in every aspect, in every statistical category. So let's see what happens this weekend before we declare a full-blown goalie controversy. You want your backup to be playing well, which is what Martin's doing, but you also need your starter to be playing well and stealing games, which is certainly not what Demko is doing. And today I didn't get into why that's happening or if the team plays differently in front of them. I just wanted to look at the numbers, specifically the stats, and really get your thoughts on what you think is happening right now. Should Demko have faced the media? Do you think he was right to pound away at Brendan Gallagher? Most importantly, what do you think is going on with Demko? Is it a physical thing? Is it a mental thing? And finally, how would you run the goaltenders this weekend in Toronto on Saturday and in Boston on Sunday? Let me know. Would love to know what you think. Let me know in the comment section below. And don't forget, tonight, my regular nightly live stream will go to 11 o'clock tonight, and we'll continue to unpack this topic. I hope you can join me then. Shout out to my sponsors, Van City Experts Real Estate, Perform and Transform, Personal Training and Weight Loss. Shout out to my members, legendary Lucas Gates, legendary Justin Credible, legendary Andrew Chang, Hall of Fame and franchise members. And thanks to all of you as well. I appreciate you helping me grow this channel and staying loyal to me, even in these tougher times for the Vancouver Canucks. So as always, subscribe if you'd like to, like this video if you'd like to, leave a tip, a super thanks if you'd like to, become a member, upgrade your membership if you'd like to, and definitely leave a comment down below if you'd like to talk about your thoughts on the goalie situation with the Canucks right here, right now. Stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. Have a great rest of the day. God bless, and go Canucks go.